Greetings, everybody. It's Jim. Hey, it's been about a month since I last made a video, and that's because I spent the last month over visiting my family all the way in Erie, Pennsylvania for the first time in 2 years because of COVID-19. I do live all the way in Washington, and they live in Erie, Pennsylvania, so it was definitely time that I cherish, and I'm very glad to have seen them. Now, at the same time, I was mentioning Erie, Pennsylvania. You may have heard that before from my one video for the War of 1812, where I talk exclusively about things about Erie, Pennsylvania, and Oliver Hazard Perry. So if you're one of my gaming friends from Erie, Pennsylvania, you have not seen this video, the link is down below. By all means, please check that out and get a little bit of gaming history about the War of 1812 in there. Now, for everybody been waiting, I do have Dark Lord's Doom video that I've been promising for the fantasy trip, nice little solo adventure. That will be coming up as soon as I get the time to do so. I want to do it justice here. It was a lot of fun, and I really want to tell you my 2 cents on that. But today, just because I want to get my feet back wet into making videos, today I'm going to be showing you an unboxing of a cherry mint version of Cerebus. That's how you say it, Cerebus. Now, the first thing you're going to notice about Cerebus, it is definitely not one of the micro games over here, okay, from metagaming. No, this is actually done by Task Force Games, their neighbors in Texas, all right? Now, Task Force Games chose to use the SPI capsule game format for their micro game. Basically, a capsule game is basically SPI is just 8.5 by 5.5. That's basically the format. So even though Task Force Games never gave their games any nomenclature, like micro game or capsule game, for all intents and purposes, because of its exact size, it's a capsule game. Okay, so let's read the back here. Let's get rid of this so I can show you some close-ups on the right-hand side over here. The taking of a planet. Cerberus, the first planet of another star that man reached, had already been colonized by Tau Ceti. And the Setians wanted no visitors, but man's destiny was in space, and he would not be denied. Cerberus is a first game to cover combat over the entire surface of a planet. Now, that's a bold claim. Is that true? Leave us a comment down below if you know better. A new and unique system that is used to depict the curved surface of the planet. Okay. The 108 multicolored playing pieces depict the bases, spaceports, mobile battalions, and special forces platoons that landed and fought on Cerberus. Now, isn't it interesting how they, even back then, said how much stuff you get into the game, right? It's like, more counters the merrier, must be a bigger game. But then again, we'll see how that goes here. Now, obviously, with bases, spaceports, and mobile battalions, obviously they're fighting for the entire planet. So each unit is going to be a lot of units, technically, right? So let's crack it open and see what we got. Now, the first thing that I just noticed as I crack this open, is the book is not like an SPI capsule game, or at least the ones that I've seen. It is actually a complete book. There's a lot of pages in this thing in small print. There's 25 pages in this. Holy cow. That is a lot of stuff to take in. This is a much bigger game than I'm thinking. The capsule games from SPI that I've seen have a piece of ledger paper that folds out like from this 4 ways, and it just is double-sided ledger paper. And matter of fact, that's what I use as far as my format for triads to make sure that it stayed in that range. I didn't want to add too many rules, but this just takes the cake. This just says, nope, we're playing a game for the planet here. This ain't going to be no roll 1 dice and done. No siree. Now, everything is written in wargaming lawyerese, Rule 10, 10.1, and so on. But it is very clear. Task Force Games has always been good with their writing as far as production goes, so you can read everything clearly. Task Force Games, Metagaming was pretty good on that too, but I've seen some things that they've made, especially in the fantasy trip line. It almost seems like they had photocopied typewriter paper. So let's take a look at the counters now. And the counters, I can see everything just fine. It's a micro game, so you're not exactly expecting big numbers or anything like that. But I can see things okay. The blue has a little bit, the blue hides the black numbers a little bit. That could be bothersome. But you can also notice that they really had to worry about bleed. It's a printing term where you have to worry about, because these will shift. While they're getting cut. And if you're a war gamer of any caliber, you know that you've seen, these all shift, and some of them are, if they're really badly made, they go right off the counter itself, all the information, and you can see the technology has been better, but it still hasn't perfected it. But you can actually see the how little of a area they have to work with. If you look at the actual print area, how small they had to make it. Now you can get away with a little bit more, and it makes a lot of difference. But here they definitely it's a micro game from the 80s, so it's they don't have that much room to work with. But these look good. And these, for the most part, I have the blue counters with the black text is a little dark, so you probably need a well lit room to play that. So let's take a look at the map here. Now, the thing about the metagames that I liked is they actually chose to do textured paper. Okay, that was kind of nice. They took you out. That was a little bit different, because this does look like just a regular yellow piece of paper with some printing on it. Now, mind you, it is nice. You could see everything clearly on this. That's for sure. And as you can see, what they were talking about as far as the curvature of the Earth, or the planet, I should say. You've seen maps like this where they just have, like, I like to see how they implement this in the game. But boy, there's not a lot of surface area on this map, is there? Not at all. We're talking about battalions as well, as I lose focus on my camera here. But basically, let's look at what else is going on. Come on, there we go. We're back. And so let's look at a few other things as far as this goes. We got the turn record track here with units destroyed, units on Tau Ceti, and units in the system, and some fleet stuff. But then we got a little complicated stuff over here. Destroyed units, units on Earth, their fleet, I guess, and so space superiority track and space superiority effects track. Now, I can only imagine, that's going to have a lot to do with a lot of the battles that are going to be happening in the game. Okay, no doubt about it. On the ground, air superiority, space superiority, same idea. So that's pretty interesting. But I am a little bit intimidated, and I really wonder if I'm going to play this or just read it. 25 pages is a lot to soak in, and it almost makes me feel already that this is going to be a 4-hour micro game, at the very least. I mean, I know we're playing for a planet here, but you could still do that without being 25 pages long, I would think. Just really, but they're trying to possibly do something. There's a good chance that this could have been a box set, like Steve Jackson's Orbit War or something like that. Just this could have probably warranted it, but I guess they would say, hey, let's just print it small, and if it catches on, then we'll make a box set. Maybe that was their idea. But anyway, it is a big rule book. I am looking forward to just I think I'm just going to go over it, because there's a lot of other games that I actually want to play that I know would be quicker. And any more time is of the essence. I mean, you play one 4 to 6 hour game, you played them all. You better make sure that it has a lot to do with it. But I'll look it over. Maybe I'll be surprised. But anyway, that is the video for Cerberus, and I'll see you guys next video.